This is my co-producer, Handsome, just working hard there, making sure the videos come out all right. Hey everyone, it's David from Swordfish Bones. Welcome to our channel and welcome to drum lesson video number 3. So I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy and not going crazy, staying inside all the time. I know sometimes I do. So today we're going to be learning 2 new beats. We're going to quickly review the beat we learned from the last video, just to warm up, and then I'll teach you the next 2 beats, which are 2 other rock beats that are quite popular, quite common, and you can use in a lot of songs. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so first we're going to do a review of what we did in the last video. So that was, first we did the hi-hats, which was just the quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, then the 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we moved on to the beats. So that was the simple one, and then eventually move on to the 8th notes on the hi-hat. So alright, so I hope you guys practice that, and then once you get comfortable with that, you move on to some other beats, which I'll show you today. Okay, so the 2 beats that I want to show you today are going to be using 8th notes on the hi-hat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, so you're going to hit another beat on the kick. So I'll demonstrate this beat to you first, and I'll do it slowly. So 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and oops. Alright, so what I did there, which is different from the previous beats, when I hit the kick on beat 3, I also hit it on the and after the 3. Also 3 and is what you can call it. So I'll count out loud. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. As always, practice it slow, practice it with a metronome to keep time, making sure that you're also consistent with how you're playing it. So yeah, just adding another kick in there in the beat, and it's another popular beat in rock music. You'll hear it quite often. So one more time, it'll sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright, so just keep practicing that over and over again until you master it, and then once you got that one down, just move on to the next beat, which I'll show you next. Okay, so once again, I'm going to do this for our visual learners, in case the 3 and 3 and didn't really make sense. So what I meant by the 3 and is it's the and after 3. So then the and after 2 is called the 2 and. The and after 1 is a 1 and. So yeah, as mentioned, we're adding another kick to this note here. So as you can see here, I wrote the letters just so you can see when to hit the kick and when to hit the snare. So it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So let's give it a play here, and you'll see how it sounds. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Yeah. 3 and 3 and. So, in case you wanted to kind of see when to hit the kick, or if you just wanted to get a visual idea of how everything looks, that's beat number 1 for you. And now I will talk about beat number 2. Okay, so on to the next beat. Uh, this one, when I was learning it, it was a little tricky. I found it tricky because um, just the way where the kick lands on the beat, um, it was just not something that I was used to. I guess it eventually becomes muscle memory. Um, so what I can do is I can show you the visual first, just to explain how it looks, and then I'll demonstrate demonstrate it for you on the drums.
Okay, guys, so this is the visual for beat number 2 now. Um, this is what I was talking about when to hit the kick. So the way I said you can think about it is you can hit the kick on the and before the 3 right here, and then the and after 3, or the and after 2 and after 3. So the 2 and the 3 and, as I was explaining the 2 and 3 and in the last example. So these are actually these are eighth rests. Like I said, I'm learning this program, as I mentioned in the last video. I was trying to remove these just to not confuse you, but they just wouldn't go away. I'm sure there's a way, but they're just kind of stubborn and they kept popping back up. So when you're looking at this, just focus on these notes here. The lower one for the kick and the upper one for the snare, and then where it lines up with the hi-hats here, right? So the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and as always, count out loud, and then just for the visuals, because kind of look when to hit the kick. So I'll show you what it sounds like here. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and boom, chuck, boom, boom, chuck, boom, chuck, boom, boom, chuck, boom, chuck, boom, boom, chuck. So yeah, what you can do, and when you're counting out loud, is you can say these ands kind of like louder with an accent with your mouth. That's what I was doing when I was counting out loud back when I was learning this beat. So one thing, don't get so frustrated with this beat if you're having a hard time with it, because like I said, I definitely had a tough time with this beat, because when I was learning this, I never touched the drums at all. I didn't even know what snare kick was when I was first learning. So it's totally okay to take your time, take it slow. You count out loud. It may take a little bit of time, but once you master this beat, I promise it feels really satisfying and it feels pretty good. And it's just one of those skills where you can just apply it in other drums or in other patterns, which I can show you earlier. Basically, just to do these, I guess kind of these off, you can call them offbeats. I don't know, where it doesn't land right on the 1, 2, 3, 4. It's in between, so the 1 and 2 and 3 and it sounds pretty cool. It's a nice beat. I like the sound of it when you're just even playing it by itself. So I'll do this one more time just so you can kind of visually see. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 so there we go. That's what it looks like, and then I'll play it on the drums for you next.
All right, so like I said earlier, the way that beat works is that you have the kick going on the and before 3 and after 3. So, and kind of visualize the ands that are between the numbers. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you can also think of it as the and symbol after 2 and then the and beat right after 3. So whatever makes it easier for you when you're thinking of it in your head. I was kind of reading the music as I was playing along, counting out loud in my head. So you can definitely do that. You can maybe pause or take a screenshot of the notation that I wrote there and kind of count out loud, and then making sure you're hitting the beats right. So I'll play it for you slowly here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right. So I guess essentially what you're doing is you're just not playing the kick on beat 3 anymore. So you're doing it right before and right after. They're basically eighth notes. I'll do a little bit quicker here. That's what it sounds like when you're just kind of playing it. Another popular beat in rock music. As the other beat, and as all beats really, practice it slowly. You're probably sick of me hearing, or probably sick of me saying that a lot, and that's because it's pretty important. Anything that I'm doing, even the things that I'm learning now, the way I learn it is I play it slowly, and then I slowly speed it up to the point where how I'm supposed to be playing or how I want to play it, and as always with a metronome. So you can maybe another thing you can probably do if you find it kind of tricky, because like I said earlier, I found this kind of tricky when I was first learning. Maybe just play the hats and the kick. So yeah, maybe count it like that. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So maybe that will make it easier because you're doing less things and you're not doing so many things at once. And maybe just do those two things first, just to get comfortable, and then add in the snare once you're ready, and then you can get the beat together at that point. So again, I'll do it slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So, and then once you're ready, 1 and 2 and 3. Oops, I already messed up. All right, so I'll do that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Yeah, so that's something that you can maybe try. It's just doing the hats and the kick, and then introduce the snare on beat 2 and beat 4 once you get comfortable with that. Yeah, that concludes the lessons for these two beats. So that concludes video number 3. Hope you guys enjoyed it and had fun with it. Feel free to comment and ask any questions if you want me to elaborate further on something, or if there's something you didn't get from the video. Also some feedback, again, if I'm going too fast or too slow, or if you feel like maybe something was missing. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Hope you guys have a good week. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.